How's everybody doing? Welcome to the MLC, that stands for the Mr. Lemba channel. This is your host and your brother, Mr. Lemba. Today's topic is about the brother NatureBoy and his interview with Sa Neter TV. Now, first off, I want to express my happiness, I should say, for the brother NatureBoy being healthy. And I am glad the brother Sa Neter did a very good job giving the brother NatureBoy a platform to speak besides NatureBoy's own platform that he has. I think he did a good job. A lot of people had concerns. A lot of people had questions. A lot of people wanted to hear NatureBoy's reasoning and wanted to talk about the authorities and the brutality that our people oftentimes face throughout Western societies. Now, I am also understanding very clearly some people are saying this is not a case of brutality on black people. This is a case of the brother NatureBoy not handling the situation in a better way. So I am aware of all the arguments out there. At least I would say for the most part, most of the arguments out there. You know, some people of course dislike the brother. They have certain choice words or names that they call the brother. I'm not going to do that here. I'm going to express where I stand on this issue and how it can teach my people, the black people, something, and also any other group of people who have an ideology or a belief system. So, you know, everyone can learn from this, but specifically I always talk to my people. The black people are always looking for a new way. We're always looking for an answer. We've been doing it for a very long time now, going back to the elders all the way down to our days and our children. You know, we're forever looking for an answer because we can clearly see that something is wrong. So those of us who are conscious and awaken or slowly awakening to the truths that are out there, you know, I am glad, and but I also want us to be careful in who we follow, as we're having many teachers come out nowadays, and each of them have their own opinions, and they're saying different things, and we always have an ego issue amongst our leaders. We always have an arrogance issue amongst our leaders. And for those of you who follow my channel, you know, I always talk about the Negro ego gots to go. And there's a brother who requested a video on that. Neck of the woods, my brother. It is coming. I have not forgotten. Just really busy right now with a lot of requests and other things that I'm handling. So the Negro ego is always an issue. And when that is in play, one may not think clearly, and one may act in a way that is irresponsible or reckless. So when, you know, you're following in a specific individual, you want to be careful in how you approach the situation, and think about what they're saying, what they're doing, and whether or not you want to follow them with your wife, with your husband, with your children. Now, for those of you who don't know, on my channel, I rarely talk about my faith, but I am an Israelite. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm not one of those guys on the streets cussing, yelling at people, or wearing long gowns. Unfortunately, people have one view of the Hebrew Israelite community, and sometimes it's not the most positive view. However, I am a Hebrew Israelite, so my philosophy does differ from that of NatureBoy's philosophy. However, I am also a man who is well informed in various forms of thoughts, school of thoughts. I am very well informed when it comes to the Holy Scriptures, the Bible, certain other Holy Scriptures, which I don't consider to be God's words. So, you know, I have a different philosophy from the brother. So believe it or not, I took that into account before I made this video, because I didn't want to come out, you know, completely biased or anything like that. You know, so I took that into account. I also took my time to listen to the brother's few of his videos after he got out of prison in Costa Rica and made it back to the United States of America safely. Thank the Father and the Creator of us all. because I wanted to see where he was coming from. I wanted to see his philosophy. I used to listen to a few of his videos that I discovered his channel, I think, a few months ago. And, you know, I seen a little bit of his philosophy, but I wanted to see more of how he's thinking, you know, before I try to say this is a contradiction, this doesn't make any sense, that doesn't make any sense. Because we must remember, in the black community, we are a people that was dragged down and brought into the Western world. Many of us do not think in any other way besides the Western way, besides the Eurocentric way. So many things that doesn't make sense to us, we have to remember that we are judging it on the westernized Eurocentric scale. So even when brothers jump on videos on YouTube and they talking about Mgtow and they talking about Ibmor, we have to realize these brothers are not spitting Western philosophy. These brothers are not spitting Eurocentric philosophy. These philosophies may seem new, but these are ancient philosophies of men being men, dating back to Africa, the so-called Middle East, India, and pretty much all the ancient world. And this was the order of things, and it is the proper order of things because they learned it from nature and from God himself. So, you know, a lot of our philosophies are not westernized, and the minute our people hear that, they tend to have an issue with it. Like, oh, but you know, you saying all this stuff, it ain't making no sense, you know. And you know, I try to take that into account before I jump the gun and attack a brother, because what he's saying is not what I'm used to hearing. You know, many of us are brainwashed. And if you're on my channel, you're listening to this right now, you're most likely one of those people who are awakening, or you already woke, you know, meaning that you're getting some knowledge that is not normal, based on the status quo, what is usual in this culture, in these Americanized, these Western cultures, these Canadians, you know, London, type of Western European type of culture, like France and so forth. They carry a certain ideology. So with that said, you know, the brother NatureBoy asked for the media, you know, when he was on that bus, and he was dragged out, and you know, he apparently overstayed his visa. I believe the brother's philosophy is that, you know, his skin is his passport. So he kind of feel that he should be able to go wherever he want at will. Now, a lot of us are saying everywhere, you know, these people have laws of their lands, and I completely understand those, that philosophy. It is the obvious philosophy that we're used to. I agree with that philosophy. However, I can clearly see what NatureBoy is saying. I just wish my brother would be more careful. You know, God gave man the earth, you know, in the beginning. You know, it's not until later he issued man certain lands that they were given, you know. But if you're looking at it from the idea, from the perspective of NatureBoy, he's seeing it like from Genesis, from the beginning, where God gave man the earth. And, you know, we are one family. We are supposed to populate the earth. We are supposed to eat from the earth. We are supposed to take care of the planet. NatureBoy, you know, is a very free-spirited individual. And that's a great thing, to be free-spirited. But the brother must use wisdom and understand that the world will not appreciate his philosophy. Whether it is those of us who may disagree with him and not harm him, or the other ones who will harm him. And those who have the most to lose will harm him, because, you know, he is literally going against the status quo. He is going against what makes the elite rich. He's going against what keeps those who are in power in power. And the fact that he's removing people from materialism is going to put a target on his back, because materialism is the fuel to capitalism. What the brother is doing is literally his ideologies are against, and they're toppling what we know as capitalism, or you could define that as some form of modern day slavery if you get into it enough and you study politics, international relations, international law, international business, and you understand the stock market and how things work. you will start to realize it's not a very fair system at all. Now you could claim your self-righteousness and say, you work hard, you pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and all that good stuff. And I do believe you should do those things. But however, the system is not a fair system. It is not a leveled playing field. So we must understand that. So what the brother is doing in NatureBoy, he is going against that. And he is causing trouble, for the pockets of those who are up top. And he's going to put a target on his back. And he's also doing that to those who follow him. So to keep that in mind. Now, the reason I have the slide up is because the brother kept asking for the media when he was on the bus. He was on the bus asking for the media. And he was saying that the translator was a robot. I don't want to speak to them. I don't want to speak to him. I don't want to speak to y'all. They out there with guns. I'm not talking to them. I'm not signing a damn thing. And we not going anywhere. We staying right here. It is our right to be here. And so forth, And he said, I only want to speak to the media. But what the brother needs to understand is that the same system he's talking about, the media is the mind, is the mouthpiece of this very wicked system he speaks of. The media is what demonizes our people. Now, for those of us who are Israelites, we understand the prophecies and we understand what's going on. But for those of you who don't believe, we're going to keep it right here on the surface and still teach something here that everybody can learn from, if you didn't already know. Because I'm assuming most of y'all listening, you guys are some woke people to some degree. You guys are not the average brothers and sisters walking down the streets, So, he needs to get this. Malcolm X said this: the media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent. And that's power, because they control the minds of the masses. That's something the brother NatureBoy needs to keep in mind. He may sit with BBC News, as he said BBC News is going to give him an interview. Now, I'm hoping they're not sending people that are just going to try to harm him, because these guys are usually more than just men with cameras and microphones. You have to understand that. They can easily take his story, edit them, take snippets, and make it seem like the brother's completely something that he's not. Now, you may disagree with what he is or what he appears to be, but it is only fair to let the brother present himself as he is, But I really doubt they're going to give him that opportunity. So I may be wrong, but he must understand that the media is the mouthpiece of the very system he talks about, the very Babylonian system that he talks about. Malcolm X also said this: if you're not careful, the newspapers, aka the media, will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. Let that sink in. You see, the brother keeps trying to get a hold of media, and I think he's trying to use them to spread his message, which is cool, if they do not distort his message to demonize him. Whether or not you agree with the brother, you have to see and understand that they will most likely try to take what he's saying and turn it around. And I realize the brother likes to talk almost like he's doing a one-on-one video like he does on his platform when interviews are going on, as he had that little moment with the brother Sa Neter. And Sa Neter just had to give it up and let him go ahead and talk. But he has to remember, in those interviews, they're not going to let him go on and on like that. They're going to interject. They're going to throw things in there. They're going to ruin his thought process, because they're trained to shake you. They're trained to do that. They're trained to make you look like what you're not. So he needs to understand what's coming. By talking to BBC News, his message will be worldwide. And that will definitely, I believe, put a target on the brother's back and on the back of those who follow him. So, I really hope my brother could use some wisdom in his approach. You know, when he was going through what he was going through in Costa Rica, I was really hoping that he would go ahead and go to Jamaica or Haiti instead. Not that those systems are not Babylonian, because they are Americanized, they are Westernized, but not so much. And he could blend in a little more with the people who looks a bit more like him. Now, I was also thinking it was a contradiction that he called his group melanation and then have so-called non-melanated people in there. But what I'm realizing is he believes the melanation is of the mind. The brother's thought process is not very linear, so we have to be careful not to say he's contradicting, because his thought process is very similar to those of the ancient Eastern world and the ancient Eastern philosophers. You know, a lot of those guys didn't have problems saying things that sound like contradictions. So people have to understand what the brother is saying. Now, I'm not defending him and I'm not bashing him. Now, my criticism is the brother said he was not going to get off the van. He should be ready to protect those that are with him. When you are a leader, and he says he's not necessarily a leader, but in a sense he's the one who's the mouthpiece, so you're the spokesperson, kind of making you the vocal leader at least. You have to be ready to protect your brothers, your women, and your children, everyone who follows you. So, you know, it doesn't matter who it is, my black people. It could be a brother Polite, it could be a Umar Johnson, it could be a Dr. King, it could be a Marcus Garvey, it could be a Toussaint Louverture, it could be a Nelson Mandela, it could be myself, Mr. Lemba. When you are listening to someone and you are applying what they're saying, you need to make sure that person cares about you more than they care about themselves. I could tell you guys something right here on my channel. If anything were to hit the fan, I prefer to go down rather than have any of you guys go down. That is your job as the person who is initiating this ideology, who is pushing these philosophies, to protect those who follow you, to stand and protect your disciples. See, the Christ was not sending his disciples to go get crucified for him before he died. He was the first to go. You got to understand that. You know, so the brother was a little reckless in my opinion when it comes to getting out the van. You said they have guns. You know, we live in a world where might makes right, regardless of your rights and what the Constitution says. Once the gun's to your head, your rights are out the window. Man, look here, just get out of the van, try not to get beat up, and you can handle this a different way. You may leave Costa Rica and never go back without having to get beat up. And I was thinking that's what he should have done, you know, but he didn't, and that was not good. The brother said he would not sign papers, but after he got beat up, he signed the papers. And you are showing to the world that if you are brutalized, then you will cooperate, and that's not good. If you want to be like a Dr. King, you got to get brutalized and stick by it and not change your mind until your death. But you need to make sure that your crew is safe and they willingly want to die with you, because the people, these women and these other brothers, seem very afraid. You know. Now, when he mentioned Haiti or Jamaica, I was thinking more so Haiti, because Jamaica is an English-speaking country, but Jamaica is a bit more westernized and developed than Haiti, meaning that NatureBoy will face a lot of the matrix that he does not want to deal with. Okay, he's going to face a lot of the taxation that he doesn't want to deal with, a lot of the rules and regulations that he doesn't want to deal with. It may be milder, but it is still something to deal with. In Haiti, you're still going to have to purchase land. But if you're in the countryside, there is really no taxation. And in Haiti, he can also probably sit on government's land and go unnoticed for a very long time. You know, because the government there don't really check on things like that so much. Now, I'm a man of politics. That's why I know that. And I want to teach you guys many things regarding politics and economy, as our people don't know that as well. Most of us don't know that. Don't know these subjects very well. I'm also a man who, I'm under 40. I'm under the age of 40. I was able to open a business. I was able to go to college. I was able to get a degree. I was able to make success in my business, carry a job. I was able to accomplish many things, including owning properties overseas. That is not something you hear much of the African American, you know, not just because of the media. It's actually something we actually don't do in large numbers. Now, most of you are thinking, Haiti, what the heck is this brother talking about? Haiti got problems. Haiti is not built. Haiti have all these issues. Well, that's because you are thinking from what the media have shown you. I just warned you people about the media. All right. Now, a few years ago, I went down there. You know, I've traveled internationally, of course, because I have land internationally and in different places around the world. But, you know, it's a beautiful place, especially if you're in the countryside. Most of the ruckus you hear that's going on is in the city, you know. So as we look at these pictures here, like this blue basin from the area I believe they call Jacmel or Jacmel. Not sure the pronunciation too correctly, but NatureBoy would be, you know, at home right here, you know, and he could avoid a lot of trouble because the Haitian government is not so much on your tail. Now, they'll flex you, they'll try to overcharge you if they think you're Americans. You know, the merchants are just trying to make money, so, you know, it happens. But, you know, it's a lot more natural food, and the laws are a lot more mild. The waters are crystal clear. The ocean is beautiful. I don't know why people always have this idea, well, Haiti's oceans are dirty. It's in the Caribbean. It shares ocean with the Dominican Republic, with Jamaica, with Cuba. So it's the same water, people. We have to step outside what the media have shown us and actually travel and see for yourself. This guy literally looks like he has his boat on glass, you know. So I think it's a little bit better for NatureBoy. He'll be at home, natural food, no chemicals. He could grow his own stuff, but he's still going to have to purchase land. Now, you know, this is also an island. Haiti also has other islands that are detached from the mainland that he can stay in and go unnoticed for 100 years, literally, if he would actually live that long. You know, it's that kind of place, you know. So, you know, the only thing he needs to understand, he's going to have to follow some basic rules if he wants to stay alive long enough to push his philosophy and his ideologies. He's going to have to think about his people and don't get hurt if you're only going to cooperate later on. It really pissed me off that everyone had to get a beat down because he wouldn't sign some papers and probably just leave the country. And, you know, he caused everyone to get a beat down and then he signed those papers anyway. It made me really sad that he was telling the people, the authorities, F him, cussing them out, and then the next day after he got beaten, he says, you know, I love you, you know, I love him, you know, I love him, reflection, I love him. And it's like, you probably should have told him that to prevent the beatdown, and then realize that that country is not for you, and get up and leave, you know. I just want my people to be wise in who we follow. You know, I'm trying to cut this video because I don't want to, you know, make it any longer than it already is, but I want my people to really be careful who we follow, because we are a people that is thirsty for knowledge. We're trying to find our way. We're trying to find the truth. We're trying to wake up. You know, they told us we're Africans, but the Africans are saying you are not African. You know, so now I'm trying, you know, we have to figure out, you know, what's going on. You know, are the Hebrew Israelites crazy? You know, are we all from Egypt? You know, all of us. Like, they never had no other sex of black people. They're all Egyptians. You know, like, what's going on? You know, we finding black people in deep Asia. So what's up with that? What's going on? You know, so you talk about the Olmec Empire, and you're finding, you know, sculptures that completely look Negroid in the Americas that predate the native Indians and so forth. So there's a lot of things we need to take into consideration and be careful who we follow, who we give our money to. You know, one thing I won't do on my channel is ask anybody for no money, because I want my brothers and sisters, especially it's a channel for black men, really, you know, my brothers, to feel comfortable and to come here and we can have a good dialogue without worrying about being scammed. Now, I know YouTube has issues with taking people's videos down and false flagging people and trolls and all that stuff. That's why I tell you guys, always keep my email that is right there under my beard in that picture, lembaofyah@gmail.com. If something ever happen, you don't see Mr. Lemba on YouTube, shoot me an email. I'm going to let you know where I am. I'm going to be around. I'm going to be back. You know, I love you guys. You guys know that. I love you dearly. I can't stop. You know, it's not my fault. I don't know what it is. I just got love for you guys. You know, now I do believe my people will face persecution wherever they go, even if the country is black, is a majority black country, because I am a Hebrew Israelite. That's my philosophy. You know, I believe it in a certain way, like certain other YouTubers who are also of that walk of life, like the brother Ringo, Black Ram 313, Clothing Shadows, Johanna 82. You know, a lot of brothers out here who make videos who are in the manosphere, who actually view it in that sense and understand what's really going on. For those of you who are waking up, even if you are into Egyptology, even if you're into whatever you're into, even if you're realizing that, you know, the history is false, you know, the maps are wrong, you know, if you're starting to realize those things, then, you know, that's good, because you're waking up. You're starting to pick up truths, and keep it up. You know, you may not see it like me yet, and I hope you do, but either way, the fact that you're waking up, I am happy, and I love you. Until next time, and I hope my brother, NatureBoy the best, take it easy and be careful who you're following. Mr. Lemba, out.